Welcome to the PJ Hoop Podcast. I'm your host, PJ, and if this is your very first time checking out my podcast, first and foremost, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to check out my podcast. I also want to let you guys know this is a basketball podcast, so on my podcast, normally, because this is not a normal episode, but normally I like to go over 4 segments week in and week out. The 4 segments being, first segment I like to call PJ's Echelon, and in PJ's Echelon, essentially, it's my power rankings. So I like to give you guys my top 10 teams and about 2 or 3 teams on the bubble week in and week out. Another segment is a segment I like to call What's New. Now, in What's New, I'm going to give you guys some type of NBA news, some type of statistical history, or it's me just ranting. Another segment is Games of the Week. Now, in Games of the Week, I'm giving you guys games of some type of significance, games I really enjoyed watching, or games that I'm looking forward to that coming week. And the last segment that I go over week in and week out is a segment I like to call In the Lab. Now, in the Lab, I like to give you guys talk about NBA rookies. I like to talk about international, college, and high school basketball. So those are the 4 segments I normally go over week in and week out. Well, as you can see in the title, this is about the playoffs. We're obviously going to review this last week that's happened in the playoffs. There's been about 2 games so far that's happened in each series, with tonight being, I think tonight there's another 3 or 4 games tonight. But yeah, I just want to kind of pick up where we left off last week. So we're just going to dive straight into what we've seen so far in these series. We're going to start in the Eastern Conference. And then, make our way. And then just so you guys know, keep in mind, I'm trying to keep these episodes between 25 to 35 minutes. One, because I just feel like anything longer than that, I feel like that just can just become overbearing, just too much for people to want to sit and watch or listen to. But also, I'm trying to be mindful of my own time, but also you guys' time as well. So just keep that in mind. Like, I'm going to say stuff about all these series, of course, but there's like more that I would love to say, but I just don't want to make these episodes too long. So let's just dive straight into it with the Eastern Conference. Now, let's start with this Knicks and Detroit series. Series right now is 2-1 New York. And honestly, it's kind of going how I kind of envisioned it would go. Last week I came on here, I told you guys I had the Knicks because I felt like New York just had too much offense. But I also told you guys that I believe that Cade was good enough to get you at least 1 to 2 games. He got you 1 game already. He might be able to get you 1 more. I don't know yet. I haven't decided if I'm taking New York, if I'm taking Detroit. I really do wish Jaden Ivey would have been able to play in this series. I think that would have for sure added another wrinkle to the series, and I said that to you guys last week. The thing that's really striking about this series, and like I said, nothing has happened where I'm like surprised, but something that it just really made me think more about is just like, what does New York do with Mikal Bridges after this playoff run? Like, what do they do with him? Because I think he's extension eligible. I think he'll be a free agent, I think next summer, if I remember correctly. And like, I just feel like something's got to give in New York, like, as weird as that may sound. And maybe it doesn't sound weird to you guys. Maybe you guys are like on the same, thinking the same thing I'm thinking. But something just got to give in New York. Just watching them play, like even in the playoffs, this team was supposed to be built for the playoffs, and just watching them in this first round series, like, for me, it's hard to watch. It's really hard to watch. And I hope they prove me wrong. I hope in that second round, I hope they beat Boston. I really do. I took Boston. I'm pretty sure most people took Boston, except, if you're inside of New York, you're probably taking the Knicks. But yeah, I don't know. Something's got to give in New York, in my opinion. If that's with Mikal Bridges, if that's with Karl Towns, if that's, with Tom Thibodeau as a coach, something's got to give with New York, in my opinion. It's just been it's been hard for me to watch these games. But also I want to talk about Detroit a little bit. I think Cade is what we thought he was going to become. To me, it's weird how people are like surprised how good he is. He was the number 1 rated kid coming out of high school. Number 1 rated, he's the first pick in the draft. His player comp was Luka. Like, I just think it's just really weird that people are, like, surprised how good he is. I just think that's really odd. I'm not surprised by it at all, to be honest. I told you guys during last offseason, during my Detroit season preview, that I believe Cade was going to take a leap this year. I mean, and he has. It's going to be interesting. Detroit's going to be an interesting one moving forward because obviously they have Cade. Duren is very young still. They got Asar. They got Ivy. It's going to be interesting to see what Detroit's dynamic looks like moving forward. Do they believe that Ivy can be their second best player on their team? Does Asar Thompson, does he figure out the jump shooting thing? It's interesting. I'm interested. I love Cade as a player. Now it's on that front office to put the players around Cade. Does Detroit go out and get a player like Zion? We know Langston, the guy in the front office for Detroit, has a relationship with Zion in New Orleans. New Orleans looks like they're probably trying to get off of Zion. Does Zion end up in Detroit? I don't know. Interesting stuff, real interesting stuff. I don't want to go off track. But yeah, New York, I still expect them to win this series. It just has been hard to watch. It's just been really hard for me to watch and consume them watching this during this series. It's just been really hard. Okay, so I just want to talk about that. Let's go to the next series. Let's talk about the Bucks and the Pacers. Man, this has been great. Like the trash talking. Like it's just been a fun watch. It's been a very fun watch in my opinion. I'm very mad at myself though because I did tell you guys last week I was taking the Bucks. And that was just because of the sheer will of Giannis, and like my mind just kept telling me Bucks. But the logical side of me was thinking Pacers. Like the Pacers, top to bottom, they're a better team than the Bucks are right now. They are, and I'm not holding out hope for the Bucks, but it ain't looking good. They play tonight. I expect the Bucks to win tonight. I expect Dame will be better. This will be his second game back. The others from Milwaukee, they'll be at home, so they'll start hitting shots and play with more energy and stuff. So I ain't saying the series is over for the Bucks necessarily, but the Pacers, man, they're just pour it on. They just pour it on you. But it's been really fun watching the back and forth with Halliburton and Dame, and I've enjoyed it. I want this to go 7 games. I think it still has a really good chance to go 7. I just want this to go the distance. It's just one of those series where it's like, we want to watch this. We want 7 games of this, because as we know, the longer it goes, the more chippy it's going to get. So I'm enjoying watching it so far. I still really would like to see Halliburton be a lot more aggressive scoring wise. I've said it before on this pod. I would love to see Halliburton taking, that 18 to 20 shots a game. I just think that could really unlock him as a player, but also unlock this team and take them to the next level. I know he's a great passer, but I just would like to see him more aggressive scoring wise. I just don't know if that's him as a person. But yeah, I don't really have much more to say about this series, but I hope the Bucks can turn it up and rev it up and find something over these next 2 games to where it's like, okay, they could win this series. But right now it's not looking good. Sorry. I've been up since 4 this morning. But let's go to the next series. In the Eastern Conference, it's Boston and Orlando. Boston, let's talk about Boston first. I mean, this team is they're getting hit with injury after injury. You got Tatum with the wrists. Jaylen Brown, still dealing with his issues. You got, I think I seen something that said Drew Holiday was dealing with, I think, a hamstring injury. You got Porzingis got hit in the head. I really don't. And mind you guys, I think we all know this team. I mean, they have a lot of miles on them. Okay, they've some of these players have been in the finals. They've been in the finals as a team last year. Holiday been in the finals already 2 times. Like these players got miles on their bodies. Tatum and Brown have been in the conference finals. I think 6 times, either 5 or 6 times. So like, I just hope we don't get robbed is what I'm saying. I just hope we don't get robbed because I really do want to watch Boston and Cleveland fully healthy. I do want to watch Boston versus OKC fully healthy. Like, I just hope we don't get robbed of something, and it just does not look good. They're dealing with these injuries already in the first round. And what does history tell us? Typically, if a team is going to deal with injuries early on in the playoffs, it usually is going to linger. And a lot of these players' injuries are injuries that are going to linger. Like Drew Holiday's hamstring, that can come and go. Jaylen Brown's knee, that can come and go. Tatum's wrist, does he land wrong again? Is he being caught? How long is that bone bruise going to last if somebody hits it wrong? What are the long-term implications of that? Like, I just hope we don't get robbed. That's all. I just hope that for Boston. I just don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Let's talk about Orlando for a second. I love what I'm seeing at Apollo. I love it, man. I told you guys this a long time ago. Earlier this season, I told you guys I felt that Apollo is going to have a great chance to be the best player in the Eastern Conference within the next 2 to 3 years. I still feel that way. The dude, this is his third year in the NBA. He's been in the playoffs. This is his second time in 3 years being in the playoffs. And what we know about the playoffs, what does history tell us? The sooner you get to the playoffs, typically the better chance you got at winning a title or winning multiple titles, okay? Like, that's just what history tells us. And I just want to see Orlando really, go all in, man. Spend some of those chips this summer. You guys got a bunch of first-round picks, all your first-round picks. And I think they also hold, Denver's first-round pick, this year or next year, if I remember correctly. But I would really like to see them, man, go out and go get some more help for Paolo. Give Paolo some more help, bro. I think Paolo, I'm so high on him, bro. I'm so high on him, and I just want to see him get more help. This boy's hooping. I don't have his numbers in front of me, but I think right now, he's probably averaging like 28, 29 points right now, 8, 9 rebounds, like 4 or 5 assists. And he should be averaging more assists. His teammates just ain't hitting the shots. But just go get this boy some more help. I think Paulo's a superstar waiting, I'm so high on him, bro. I love his mentality. I love his game. Yeah. I would like to see him, back to the basket a little bit more because he has that kind of power and strength. But I love watching him play, bro. He's one of my favorite young players. And he went to Duke, so that helps. And he's repping the Northwest. He's from Seattle. But yeah, just Orlando, get this boy some more help, please, because to me he's a superstar waiting. Obviously I ain't gonna say he's a superstar right now. I ain't gonna do that because obviously you got to win a little bit. But man, it just the signs point to him being a superstar. Like they need to watch out. The Eastern Conference, they're on notice. Paolo's coming, and it's on this team to put the players around him. But yeah, so that's all I gotta say right now for the Eastern Conference. There hasn't been anything yet where I'm like, okay, like I didn't expect that. There's been nothing yet where I'm like concerned. But yeah, that's. Oh shoot, my bad. I forgot to talk about the Cleveland series. Truth be told, I really don't have much to say about the Cavs and the Heat series. I really don't. I guess one thing that I do kind of want to point out, first and foremost, I do want to give a shout out to Evan Mobley for winning Defensive Player of the Year. He was on my ballot for Defensive Player of the Year for my preseason, so kudos to me. Kudos to him for winning it. I also want to talk about the Miami Heat for a second. I really want to see Miami really lean into Nikola Jovic. I think I pronounced his last name right. I think I did. But I really want to see him, I really want to see them run their offense a little bit more through him. I really like his game, personally. I really like his game. So I would like to see them, run the offense a little bit more through him. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about that series, truth be told. I expect them to sweep Miami. Bam and Tyler Hero should be able to get you one. Because they're all-stars. They should be able to get you one. But I don't know. Cleveland's on a mission. They're one of those teams that's just on a mission. So I expect Cleveland to sweep these dudes. But yeah, that's all I really got to say about that series. I don't really have much to say. I really like Cleveland's others, how they've performed so far. But yeah, I would like to see Miami kind of give Jovic, kind of run a little bit more offense to Jovic personally. Now we can talk about the Western Conference. Now we're going to start. Let's start with the Clippers in Denver. This series, I told you guys I had the Clippers winning this series. And, they're doing exactly what I thought. Defensively, they look superior. The defense looks for real. Shout out to James Harden. James Harden's having a really good series. Kawhi, I don't really need to give a shout out to Kawhi. We know who Kawhi is when he's healthy. We know we're getting out of Kawhi. Okay, we know we're getting 27, 28 points, probably 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block on 50, 30, 38 from 3, 87, 88 from the free throw line. Okay, we know what we're getting from Kawhi. So I don't need to sit up here and and gloat and, give him, his flowers. But, he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's being Kawhi. I like what I've seen out of the Clippers' others. I told you guys I believed in their others more than I like Denver's others. I feel bad for Michael Porter when he's, dealing with that injury. He's done. They need to just shut him down for the series. He's done. Truth be told, he's done. And it's going to be interesting what Denver does this offseason, for sure. I know it's kind of messed up for me just to write him off like that, right? And to start talking about the offseason. But it's like, the writing's on the wall. To me, they look already defeated. I seen a video, Nikola Jokic was going ballistic in the huddle. Jokic don't act like that. Okay, so that lets me know if he's out here yelling and, not ready to go back to Serbia, like, this team is pretty defeated. I still expect Jokic and Murray to at least win 1 to 2 more games. But, man, I don't know, man. And shout out to Steve Ballmer for the Intuit Dome. Shout out to him. Shout out to his vision. Shout out to the engineers who came up with it. Like, great facility. Next season, or maybe even this summer, depending if there's any events I want to go to, I'm for sure making a trip to the Intuit Dome, no doubt. I'm making a trip there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just hope that Denver can find some life in this next game. Otherwise, I won't watch the series anymore. Next game. I mean, after next game, if they don't win next game, I'm done. I'm not watching it anymore. Truth be told, to you guys, like, I'm just not gonna watch it. But yeah, shout out to James Harden though. He's having a good series. I think I'm gonna just leave it at that. Let's talk about the next series. Let's talk about the Lakers and the Timberwolves series. Nothing surprising has happened quite yet, in my opinion. I guess one thing that I'm kind of waiting for is I'm waiting for Anthony Edwards to have one of those explosive 35 to 40 point games. I think that's coming. If not, I think they play tonight. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they play tonight. I think they play tonight. So, I mean, maybe tonight he'll do it. It'll be their first home game. Or on Sunday. I expect him to explode one of these 2 games. And if he doesn't explode, then I will come on here and give flowers to the Lakers defense at that point. But I do expect Anthony Edwards to explode eventually here. There's not really, like I said, there's nothing that I've seen in this series where I'm like a pause for cause. Now, a truth be told, the Lakers lose tonight and they lose Sunday, then I will come on here and then we'll have some real stuff to talk about. Okay, you feel me? But right now, I mean, series 1-1, Anthony Edwards is good enough to get you 2 games by himself. You know what I'm saying? So if not, like, there's nothing that's happened where I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't expect that, I expect the Lakers to win one of these 2 games. If not tonight, then Sunday. I do expect that. Now, if that doesn't happen, then next week when I come on here, we're going to have some stuff to really dive into and really crunch and talk about within this series. But as of right now, the series is going as I envisioned it to happen. It's going 6 to 7 games is what I was envisioning. So I really don't have much more to say. I do think my second round matchup, because the Lakers probably will match up with either Houston or Golden State. That prediction may change for me, maybe. I'm not going to rule it out just based on what I've seen out of LeBron, because he looks 40, truth be told, my man looks 40. But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe he's just, casually revving up and getting ready to take off tonight or on Sunday. But my second round might change depending who the Lakers play and depending how Bron looks. So I guess that's one thing that I'm keeping my eyes out on is Anthony Edwards exploding one of these next 2 games, and then LeBron having maybe a vintage LeBron game, being the best player on the floor is something I'm kind of hoping and waiting to see happen within this series. Next series, let's talk about the OKC and Memphis series. Let's talk about that. Again, it's going as I envisioned it to go. OKC's about to get rid of them. Like I told you guys, I felt it could be a gentleman's sweep. It's probably just going to be a straight-up sweep, truth be told. One thing that I do want to point out to you guys, and you guys probably have noticed it, Shea he's not shooting well at all right now. He's shooting 35% from the field on, I think he's taking about 22, 23 shots a game. He's shooting 25% from three right now, and I think he's taking about 7 or 8 a game from three. I think, and I'll put this on the record, I think next round we gonna see Shai. We're gonna see what we've seen from Shai all season long. And depending, we'll see who they get. Obviously, I think it's probably gonna be the Clippers. I think we're gonna see Shai come alive next round, which ideally you want to see Shai, if you're the other team who could potentially play him in the second round, you want to see him, do amazing this series, and the next round kind of cool off. Well, he's shooting horrible right now. So unless you guys believe that the Clippers defense or Denver's defense is going to be good enough to keep him where he's at, which I don't believe so. I think Shai's going to come alive in this next round. But I liked what I have seen from the others. Like I told you guys, I felt that the others would be better this playoff series this next time around. I've liked what I've seen from the defense, and I think those two things will – I ain't going to say – let me correct myself. I think the defense will travel to next series. The others is something that I'm going to be paying attention to. I'm interested to see if Mark D's rotation stays the same, if he uses the same guys coming off the bench, or does he mix it up? And how effective those guys are next series as well. Same with Chet and Jalen Williams as well. I'm interested to see how, because they've had really good series against Memphis, but Memphis is going through what they're going through right now, So I think next round is when the playoffs really starts for this Oklahoma City team. And like I said, I expect Shai to come alive next round, is what I'm kind of anticipating for them. But yeah, in Memphis just needs to get ready for the offseason and figure out what they want to be moving forward. Something I want to say to you guys about Memphis in particular is, and this may be a hot take, but if I'm Memphis, truth be told, I'm going to blow it up if I'm being real with you guys. Jaren Jackson only has 1 year left on his deal. I'm not giving him this super max. I'm not maxing him out. I'm trading him, and I'm trading Ja Morant. And I guess, I would trade Desmond Bane too. Honestly, if I'm Memphis, I'm stripping it all the way down. Why not? Unless you believe, if you believe in your heart of hearts that Ja Morant can be the best player on a championship team, which I personally, I don't think he can be. And what I mean by championship team, I mean a team that can outright win the NBA title, not just get to the finals. I'm talking about actually win it. Usually that 6'1", 6'2" guard usually does not get it done. Obviously, there's been exceptions to the rule, but exceptions, don't negate the rule. You can just look back in history. I'm not going to sit up here and go on a soliloquy about being a 6'2" guard in the NBA. But yeah, I'm blowing it up if I'm Memphis. And I would look at the landscape of the West. Like, think about what teams you got that are better than you already. OKC's better than you. Houston's better than you. We'll see what happens with, the Lakers. The Lakers ain't going nowhere. Obviously Luka's going to be there long term. They're for sure going to get somebody to pair with Luka in LA. You got Ant in Minnesota with his little young crew with McDaniels. We'll see what little Rob Dillingham can become. And then Naz Reid. I'm pretty sure they're going to sign Naz Reid. You got what's going to happen with New Orleans? What do they do with Zion? Are they going to get the first pick? What's going to happen there? And then you also got teams like, you got the Spurs. You got Utah's building something. I don't know what that's necessarily going to look like, but I like some of their young players, some of their little rotational building blocks. You got Portland. So it's like would you as Memphis, I do think you step back and you hit the ultimate reset button. You trade all three of those players. You probably can get close to 10 first-round picks if you ship all three of those players out and just hit the ultimate reset. I think that's what you should do as Memphis. Unless you believe, and you guys may believe that. You guys may believe Memphis is good enough, to run it back or just to make slightly tweaks. You guys may believe that. And if you believe that, that's you. But I don't believe that. I believe Memphis should strip it down and hit the ultimate reset button. And that's just my opinion. Will they do it? Probably not. They're probably not going to do that, truth be told. But I just would. If I was Memphis, I would just hit the ultimate reset button. It just makes sense to me. Next year, you're going to come in with a new head coach. I just think you should hit the ultimate reset button. That's just my opinion about it. Okay, sorry to go on that soliloquy about Memphis with you guys. I just think their season's over, so I'm just like, why not? Kill two bees with one stone. Okay, let's go to the next series. Last series, Golden State and Houston. This again, series is going as I expected right now. Obviously Jimmy Butler got hurt. I think Jimmy Butler's coming back. I don't care. I think he's going to play. I just think that's the type of dude he is. And also, I feel like he believes, and I have no source of this at all, but I just believe he thinks he owes this Golden State organization that, leaving it truly all out there. One, they paid the man. They've treated him amazingly, he's have said. I think he's going to come back. So how much of Jimmy Butler are we going to get? That's another question for another day. I don't have the answer to that. I still think Golden State's going to win this series. It's just going to be, it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight. I also want to talk about Jalen Green as well. Jalen Green obviously had a 38-point game this last game. But I just hate how many threes he takes. The dude took 18 of his 25 shots were threes this last game. And he's not, I don't know why he does that. I don't know why he thinks that is him. He's not a good three-point shooter. He only shoots, I think, 34% for his career from three. And 40% of all the shots he's taken in his career have been threes. But you think Steph Curry, right? Steph has got people thinking that they, can do, that's just not Jalen Green. I don't know why he keeps trying to push that, When he's making them, yeah, it's fun to watch, right? But that's what any player, wouldn't you say? I'm just tired of watching this dude jack up threes, truth be told. I'm tired of it. I still do want to see, like I told you guys last episode, I really do want to see Houston in the second round because I just think it would be a fun watch just to see this young team, be in the second round. I just think that'll be a fun watch. And also it'll be good for their experience moving forward. But yeah, I just hate how many threes this dude takes. I just don't like it. It'll be different if he was even just a good 3-point shooter. If he was shooting 37% from three, which is to me 36% is about league average. 37% to me is okay from three. I think 38 and above, 38 to 40 is good to great. But if he could shoot even 37% from three, then I'll be okay, it's justified, But he doesn't do that, So I would just like to see him just get downhill. Because when he's downhill, using his athleticism, his quickness, his first step, they can't mess with him. These dudes in Golden State really can't mess with him. And I don't think he understands, but him doing that is opening up and helping this Houston offense really thrive, But sorry, you guys. It makes me mad, because I like when Jalen Green's attacking the basket. I enjoy watching that. One, I like the high flying, the up in the air. I just like watching that stuff. But also, he has God-given talent and ability to have that kind of torque and that kind of athleticism where it's abuse that, spam that. But yeah, sorry you guys. I just have to do that. I still think Golden State will win this series. I think Jimmy might play game 3, as crazy as that sounds. I just think he feels like he owes this to this organization, even though he's only been there for a few months. I just think he's going to play. I just do, and I think Golden State's still going to win this series. Like I said, maybe next week I'll come on here and Golden State will be down 3-1, and then Houston will win the series. But I still think Golden State's going to win this series. Outside of Jimmy Butler's injury, there's nothing else I've seen to tell me Golden State's going to lose this series quite yet. But I want to thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to check out my podcast. I'm sorry, you guys. There hasn't been anything that's been out of the ordinary. I'm not gonna sit up here and try to make up stuff to you guys. There's just nothing that I have seen, in my opinion, where I'm I need to change my opinion, except with the Pacers series. But that was more so my head and like the fan in me wanting to see Giannis. You know, it wasn't I didn't come on here and tell you guys, the Bucks is the better team. You know, no, obviously the Pacers top to bottom is the better team. But that was the only thing. Every other series, there's been nothing out of the ordinary. But again, we'll see when I come on here next week. Maybe we'll have a larger sample size, and I'll be able to come on here and give you guys a better opinion, and a better reflection. But there's nothing that I've seen personally. And maybe you guys have, but also you guys may view the game a little differently than I do, But yeah, I want to thank you guys, and I'll see you next week. Other than that, PJ's out.